Hello and welcome to my single player traits tier list. Today I'm going to be ranking all the traits in single player, vanilla, and I'm going to be assuming you're somebody who can survive for the long term. I'm going to be assuming you're somebody who's experienced, and I'm going to be jumping right into this. So we're going to be ranking all the traits, best to worst, positives to negatives, and let's jump right into it. So the first one we have, and this is already going to be a controversial pick, I can tell, is fast learner. So F for fast learner, and the reason for that is opportunity cost. So it's plus 6 points to gain 30% more experience. So that might sound great, and it is pretty great. But the only problem is the opportunity cost on that is massive, because if you were to not take it, that's 6 points you could spend on anything else, and you could take slow learner, which will grant you 6 points. So in my opinion, you're much better off taking slow learner and speccing into something and factoring that into your build rather than just taking fast learner and being a master of all, a jack of all trades but a master of none. In the zombie apocalypse, being a master of one is probably better, especially if you are a master of axes. Anyway, now we are getting into cat eyes. So this one is getting straight up to Esther. This is a good one. This will let you have night vision. It gives you a foraging bonus. It's like 2 points. It's do yourself a favor if you play with night, take cat eyes. Even if you don't, it gives you a great foraging bonus. It is one of my favorite choices. So it is just going to be sitting here staring at you until the end of this video. Next we have Lucky. Lucky is a good choice. It will let you find machetes, it will let you find more rare loot. Katanas are extremely hard to find. Loot is, it's like people say, oh yeah, you'll have enough loot. But, you get an extra surplus from Lucky. Lucky gives you a foraging bonus. It's fairly cheap. It's a very good choice, especially for single player. It's like, yeah, you'll have enough loot, but it's a looting game. You want to have more loot. It gives you foraging bonus. Enough said. Straight up into A tier. Arguably S tier for just the amount of things it gives you. Next we have Hemophobic. So in my opinion, this should be renamed to Chain Smoker, because you're going to be so stressed out all the time, especially if you use short blunt, if you use short blade, if you use something where you're going to get a little bloody. This is going to be a real nightmare. So it gives you 5 points and it's manageable, but I really like to avoid it like the plague, because you'll get stressed out all the time. You'll be chain smoking like mad. If you're more experienced and if you live near a water source, it's manageable, but I would really consider like a lot of the other negative traits. I'm gonna put this into B tier. B for blood. Next, we have Pacifist. So all this does is lower the amount of XP you get from weapons. So this includes maintenance. So it's a little, it's a big hit. Not gonna lie. I would say if you take this, make sure you definitely spec into a weapon, because that will help counter this. But it's 4 points and it's pretty good. So you really should spec into axes and forget about those hammers. If maybe for you it's not hammer time. Maybe for you it's time to axe some zombies a question. So that's going into A for couldn't think of anything. I guess be aware of peace and love. I'm not sure. So now we have strong. So oh no. Anyway, I'm just gonna stop. You can just look at the ads. I'm not even getting paid for that, so whatever. Now we have strong, and this is also going to be a controversial pick. So in my opinion, especially in single player, strong is for noobs. Strong is a crutch. It is 10 points. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to be big and buff and swole, but you really don't need it. If you want to fight the zombies so bad, whip out a short blade, whip out a gun, whip out your hammer, and go to town. And yeah, strong will help you carry more, strong will help you push them over, and strong will help you fight them. But it's a crutch, and it's really overrated, especially in single player where you can fix your strength, you can level it up passively, you can speed up time while you exercise, so it's not too bad. And it also, you know, the long-term progression there is pretty fun. I mean, it's so like if you're just trying to hop in there, kill some zombies, whatever, you know, slap on strong. But if you're looking at like a long-term survival build, strong isn't necessarily needed, especially considering the other choices. I would say you're better off with a lot more passive traits. And speaking of strong, next we have stout. So I'm gonna rate this a little better than strong, but not by much. And that's because it's useful, but it's less points. So that's why it's a higher rank, just simply because it's less expensive than strong. Even though strong gives you like the threshold where you're actually going to be kicking their butt, stout does not, but I mean it's less points to spend, so you can spend those points somewhere else instead of your massive thighs and big biceps. Anyway, next we have F tier, and we have Sunday Driver. If you're like me, you got a need for speed, so you know you're trying to drive away from the zombies, and you want to do it at 300 miles an hour, not 30. Enough said. Also, you can't tow with this, not very easily. So if you're trying to tow with Sunday Driver, good luck. That's all I can say to you. Next we have Gymnast. So this one is a fan favorite. I think it's overrated. Don't get me wrong, Nimble is great, but it is so impossible to level up. I have just given up on it. So I will put it into C tier for 5. Also, every time I take this, I have like an uneven amount of points. It always messes up my builds. The light-footed bonus it gives you is terrible. The light-footed is not needed at all. It's decent, but like speccing into light-footed is especially wasteful in points, in my opinion. And the nimble bonus is really the only reason to take this, which, don't get me wrong, nimble is great, but it's just not quite worth the 5 points. That's it. I would say maybe it's better than B tier because nimble is that hard to get. Or sorry, maybe it's better than Hemophobic, but I'm gonna say low B tier because nimble is very hard to get, but it is just not worth that 5 points. Next we have Hard of Hearing. This one, wait, is this Hard of Hearing or is this Deaf? Oh, this is Deaf. Anyway, next we have Lungs. Okay, just to simplify things, I'm going to put these together. I think this is the same sprite. Let's just get our lungs out of the way first. So this will be athletic and this will be fit. Oh no, here we go. Unfit. Just getting all the lungs up here. Okay. This will be unfit. This will be asthmatic. So we're gonna go with asthmatic first. So having asthma is not great. You can never fix your asthma. There's no inhalers anywhere in Knox County. And it's not worth the 5 points. There are better ways to get 5 points. Next we'll have, I believe this is Out of Shape. So this will go into B tier. So this is going to be controversial, but you know, you get 6 points out of this, and you can fix it. So you know, yeah, you don't get to start with athletic, but if you're experienced and you can survive, you can work this off, and it's a free 6 points. I'd even put it into like A tier. Yeah, and now we have unfit, and same thing, you can work it off. It's a very difficult start, but the trick to this is to use guns, use short blade, use short blunt. All of these will not drain a lot of stamina, and you can fight no problem with them. So people who say, oh, you'll be exhausted, walk, don't run, and use these, and you can fix them. You can just exercise them away and hit that little icon, and they'll be gone in the first, week or two of the apocalypse. Next we have, I'll say this is, there's like fit and there's like less fit, where it's like you're a little less fit. So I would say we're gonna start with fit. I would say it is better than strong. Fitness is, in my opinion, either the hardest or second hardest to level, probably tied with nimble around there. So for 10 points, it's steep. It's kind of worth it. But I think there are better ways to spec into fitness, and plus, especially in single player, where you can speed up time, you have all the time in the world to level up your fitness. So that's not that great. And then this will be the one that gives you a little less fitness, because it's less points, so it's better because it's less points. Yeah, but I mean, if you're just trying to hop into it and you don't care and you don't want to grind out your fitness, totally understandable to just take these and just run with them. But this is a build for like more experienced players who will not die as easily, especially on vanilla apocalypse. Next we have prone to illness. This is a no-brainer. This is even going above cat eyes. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't do anything. Just don't eat bad food, and then you'll be fine. Next we have short-sighted. This is an A tier trait. You want to roleplay Velma from Scooby-Doo? That's on you. Personally, I do not. I already do that enough in real life. Anyway, next we have runner. This is going into low C tier. Walk, don't run. You're running around. What are you in a rush for? Speed up time. This is single player. This is like running is a very slow grind.